Have you ever had that quiet thought, what if I become a burden? It's something that we don't talk about often, but it's something many people think about. It doesn't have to be that gripping fear that keeps us up at night. So let's talk about that today. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Well, today I want to talk about something very real, and that is the fear of becoming a burden as we get older. I want to look at it in a different light, something that may bring us a little more peace. So, first of all, we have to acknowledge that that fear does exist. Maybe not in everybody, but probably in many of us. So, why do we have that fear? Well, most seniors don't want to have to depend on anyone. And we've been independent most of our lives. We were the ones taking care of others, not them taking care of us. So the thought of being dependent on someone else can be very uncomfortable. Now, I think this fear of becoming a burden is much stronger in women than it is in men. Now, that's just my personal opinion. I have nothing to base it on except my own life experience. But men just don't look at it that way. Maybe because they're kind of wimpy. I don't know what other word to say, but it's seems to be a common thread through men that even if they're sick with just a cold, the sniffles, just a regular cold, they act like they're dying. They want you to bring them water and bring them soup and do this and do that. And they moan and groan and carry on all over the place. Where women, we keep doing what we always do. We get up, show up, get the house clean, go to work, take care of the kids, and just live through it. So that's why I feel the way I do. No offense to any men out there. So I think one of the first things we have to do is normalize this fear. It's nothing out of the ordinary. There's nothing wrong with you. Some people's fear may be up here to this level and other people's is down here. It doesn't matter. But the thought, I'm sure, has crossed most of our minds. It doesn't mean we're weak because we may fear that. In fact, I think it shows strength because we are looking at reality, dealing with reality, and trying to cope and come up with ways that we can kind of combat that fear. I think it also shows consideration for others. We love our family members and friends, children, spouses, whoever it may be. And we don't want to add any burdens to them. So it's right to think about it and think about it now before such a time would come. So let's try to shift the perspective on this. First of all, everybody needs help now and then, don't they? I know I have helped many people. You have helped many people. Another way of looking at it is relationships are two-sided. They involve the two people, and we give and take from each other. We help each other out. Receiving can be just as meaningful as giving. You know, sometimes, and again, women do this more than men, we worry about things that haven't happened and may never happen. And so we blow all this up in our minds and we try to think of all the scenarios. What would we do if we needed help? If we felt like we were in a position that we would become a burden to someone? Well, granted, we do have to have some thought about it, but we don't have to go overboard and let it be a constant worry on our minds. That's not healthy, that's not good, and it doesn't solve anything because we don't know what's going to happen. I know for me personally, I would never want my kids to have to take care of me. I just wouldn't. I'd rather go in a nursing home or, have a person come in and help me out. I don't want to interrupt their lives. And I know they would, and they mean well, and they would do it out of love, but it's just not something that I want personally for my life. I guess I get that from my mother. She never wanted that either. She never wanted to be a burden to anyone. And she didn't ask anybody for anything. Well, as time went on, she continued to age. The dementia was increasing. She needed help. And it was either go in a nursing home or come down and live with Dave and I. Well, you couldn't present it to her in a way like, okay, we will, take you in and take care of you, because that would have screamed big burden to her and she wouldn't have done it. So we just framed it differently. Why don't you come down here, Ma? We can all hang out together. We'll have so much fun. We can go shopping. We can eat meals together. It'll be fun just to hang out. And then that way you won't be without me and I won't be without you. Well, just presenting it that way made all the difference in the world. She came and we did have fun. We did hang out. Now, were we really taking care of her? Absolutely. Did I see it as a burden? No, she would have, but I did not. I saw it as an honor. And we laughed and went places and told stories and just hung out. It was one of the most fruitful times in my life. If she could have seen it through a clear mind, she would have felt that she was a burden and it would have crushed her. But because of the dementia and because of her age, she didn't see it that way. Every once in a while, she would cry out of nowhere, just out of the blue, and just say to me, "It's not fair. Sheila, it's not fair." Oh, when I think about it, it upsets me because I never thought of her as a burden. But those were a few lucid moments she would have that she realized that we were taking care of her. And it would break my heart, but I would just turn it around. Again, I would say, "Mom, what are you talking about? What isn't fair?" And she would say, "You having to do all this and put up with me and things like that." And I would say, "Ma, what do you mean it isn't fair? This is wonderful. What isn't fair about you and I getting to spend all this time together? After all these years from when I left home, now we get to be together and have fun. Aren't you having fun, Ma? Isn't this fun to you? Do you like being with me and Dave?" And then she would laugh and say, "Oh, yes, we have so much fun together." And she would go on and on. And that really made all the difference. So it's all in how you handle something. I don't know that everybody's child or spouse or sibling would handle it that way, but I know from my own experience that that way worked. My mother never had to feel like a burden because she wasn't. Your life has value regardless of independence. If the time comes in life for me or you, any of us, that we're not independent anymore. That doesn't mean a complete shutdown. We can do what we can still do. Yes, we may need help with some things. That doesn't mean we need help with everything. Do what you can do. You have to have that determination and that zest for life that you're going to do what you can and then accept help in the areas that you need it. It doesn't mean you can't live alone anymore or still live in your home. Somebody could come in just a few hours a day, whether that's a family member or someone that you hire, like a nurse's aide, just to maybe help you get in and out of the shower and get dressed, or help you with medication or a few things. But the rest of the day, you can go it alone. So there's so much to be positive about. It does not have to be all negative. Have any of you ever heard of I don't know if it's called the warrior crawl or the soldier crawl, but you see it in old war movies. And it's where the soldiers would lay on the ground, I mean, flat down, face first on the ground, and they would just scoot along the ground using the forearm, this part of the arm, and they would just pull each one slowly to drag their body inch by inch. Well, that doesn't just happen in the war movies because my mother did that. Yes, when she ended up being wheelchair bound and she couldn't walk anymore, and this was shortly before her death, she was still determined she was going to get to where she wanted to go. And so she would get down on the floor, lay on her stomach, and crawl. Do that warrior or soldier crawl to get across the room if that's where she wanted to go. It might have taken her 20 minutes to get across the room, but she would do it. She wouldn't let anything hold her back. She was determined. And we can be that way too. I don't know about you, but I don't give up easy. And when it comes to time where, we could become a burden to someone, we don't have to be a full burden, do we? We know how to do what we can. Doesn't mean we can do everything, but we can do some things. So keep those positive thoughts in mind. That will bring you more peace when that quiet fear, that thought of becoming a burden, tries to creep in on you in the middle of the night. And the last thing I want to say about it, if you feel like you're a burden, say you're in a situation right now where you feel that way, or you end up in a situation, that could be your thoughts. That doesn't mean that's the thoughts of the loved one that is caring for you. They may not see you as a burden at all. They appreciate your wisdom. They want to spend time with you. They want to be around you, and they want to help you, just like you helped them for many years. So, my ask in this video is to keep an open mind. Don't look at everything like doom and gloom. Again, it's natural and normal to have that thought creep into your mind, but you don't have to address it now. So, what if you become a burden? Oh, well, you'll figure it out. Things will work out. Keep your positive attitude and always give it all that you have. Please let me know in the comments section if any of you have had these fears and thoughts about it, how you feel about it, if you feel like you can change your whole attitude just by getting a different perspective on it. I would love to know because, it's not good to live with any kind of fear. And yes, we're human and we do have fears, but that does not have to be a crippling one, especially if it's something that may not ever happen in our lifetime. So keep that in mind as well. All right, now I need to move on and give you an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip comes from Galatians 6:2. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. You know, we were not meant to go through this life completely alone. I wanted to read this scripture because I need to hear it and I need to sink it deep in my heart because I don't want to become a burden, just like I'm sure none of you do. But I have to learn that people who love God, who are in Christ, they believe in His Word. They believe in carrying each other's burdens. So if someone wants to help you or help me in our time of need, maybe we should consider giving them the opportunity in whatever way that we can. It's so funny because I would take care of anyone. I would be their caretaker 24/7. It's what I'm called to do. I absolutely love it and find it as a true calling to support someone in their needs, whatever they may be. I didn't set out to be that way in my life, but it's what God ended up calling me to do. And I've done plenty of it. No complaints. Maybe the real truth here is needing help doesn't make you a burden. It makes you human. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.